I'm BM2 Frazier, and today's topic is domestic violence. Can anyone give me a brief definition of domestic violence?
Hitting a family member.
All right, that's a good one. The Navy gives a definition of domestic violence. Domestic violence is an abusive act or acts perpetrated by one intimate partner against another. There's 3 types of domestic violence that is recognized by the Navy. Physical abuse, that's hitting, grabbing, kicking, and blocking escapes. Every time we get in an argument, especially with our significant others or our girlfriends or our boyfriends, for the ladies, and we're trying to convey our message across, and they don't want to hear it, and they're trying to walk away, and you're blocking their escape, and you're trying to keep them in the room so you can get off your chest what you got to say. If the cops is called, that's considered domestic violence. Something as simple as that. We also got physical abuse. That's taunting, or psychological abuse, I should say. That's taunting, stalking, humiliation, and damage of property. We all make jokes about women flattening tires. That's considered domestic violence, according to the Navy. Sexual abuse. That's forcing sex in front of people or even rape sometimes. The 3 phases of the cycle of domestic violence. That's the tension phase. That's that walking on eggshells feeling. That's where the victim learns their abuser's signs and patterns of violence to kind of steer clear so they don't cause any conflict. You got the explosive phase. That's the violent phase. That's where the hitting and the grabbing and the kicking and all that comes in. Then you got the honeymoon phase. So after the abuser does all that and hurts the victim or whatever, they start buying gifts and apologizes. It's kind of like a mind game type thing to try to keep you around. Now I'm going to give you some domestic violence facts about the Navy. In 2009, the Department of Defense Family Advocacy Program reported over 18,000 episodes of spousal abuse. 84% of reported abuse in 2009 was physical in nature. Women are 66% more likely than men to experience domestic violence while in a military family. 62% of military personnel who abuse family members are on active duty. So this happens often. Domestic violence doesn't only affect the victim, it also affects the people around them, like say your children. Long-term effects on children include depression, suicide, substance abuse, and running away from home. All incidents of domestic violence should be reported, and there are 2 types of reports we use in the Navy, and they are restricted and unrestricted. Restricted means only who you want to know should know. Unrestricted is anybody can have access to your claim. The reason why we're talking about this today is because we're coming back from deployment. And for us married folk, we might come back to our wives and things might be different. Things that might not be the same as they were when we left. So therefore, it might cause some type of arguments. For you single guys, you know what I'm saying, you've been away from women for a while, you might go home and fall in love with the first person you meet, not really get to know the person. I've actually seen it happen to a couple of them I've seen it before, and start arguing. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing about the state of Virginia. I'm not going to tell you how I know about this, because that would be putting myself out there. In the state of Virginia, if the cops are called to your house for domestic violence, they have to take the aggressor. So I'm going to give you an example. My friend got in an argument with his wife one time. She hit him with an iron. Swear to God, hit him with an iron. Hot iron. Still got the print on his face to this day. She didn't think she was going to go to jail because he hit her afterwards. But when the cops showed up, she was the one that was more rowdy and more aggressive, so they locked her up. They didn't lock him up because he was calm and he played the role, and I was actually there to witness all this. When you get in a domestic violence situation in the military, you can lose things like your clearance, and everybody knows your business. Even though you put in a restricted report, it's just like anything around the command. If one person says it, it spreads around the command like wildfire. Everybody knows about it. But if you know anybody that is going through these situations and they need help, there's certain places that the Navy has set up for you to go get this help. One is the Military Public Awareness Campaign, National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's designed to educate and assist with life-saving resources. The hotline offers public access of information about domestic violence in the armed forces. Then we got FACT, the Family Advocacy Program. Anybody who's ever been to anger management will know about this. The Navy's available service include assessments, intervention, clinical treatment, and counseling. So in this lesson, you learn the definition of domestic violence, the signs of the offender and victim, and effects of domestic violence against others. The Navy wants everybody to be safe and knowledgeable, and we all needed to prevent the spread of domestic violence. Thank you for listening. I'm being too afraid.